Hi YouTube, how are you? I'm doing okay. I my allergies are bothering me. I don't know if I want to sneeze or cough or um like I don't know, my nose or my eyes aren't bothering me, but the rest of me feels just kind of like itchy. So if I'm like doing this or something, this is my allergies bothering me. I don't mean to be rude, so excuse and pardon me. But yeah, it's that time of year. So anyway, I don't know what's going on today. I watched a um, part of a Rabbi Simon Jacobson had like look what book Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu Yoho was reading. It just happened to be his book, Simon Jacobson's Torah Meaning for Life is the name of his book. Um, and then he goes on to talk about how he was over there in front of his army. He goes, our army, the soldiers that he had given this book to, and that he was humbled. And I'm thinking, your army? You live in America. You live in the United States. And you called the Israeli army your army? Okay. Well, then, if there's ever a civil war here in the United States, that means that you don't need my army to represent you. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? It's either one or the other. I mean, what country are you from? I'm not a believer, as part Native American, that anybody should have dual citizenship in my country. You know, you're not sovereign here. Only the natives are. Who the fuck do you think you are? Go home. ET. Phone home. You know? So anyway, I have Jewish family members that live here. They've had people that from their families in our military, and they probably, most of them, as far as I know, didn't and don't approve of that and would never perpetuate. The people I know the most righteous people I know wouldn't teach their children that there's anything honorable about being a soldier. A warrior for everybody? Yeah, but a soldier for a country? You're not the police force. And you're certainly not the police force or the preachers for the whole world. Your world, your country. You don't represent the whole shebang, you know? Just talking to Rabbi, and I know there's rabbis and Jesuits and people. I don't get a lot of views, but I know who you are. And just people on my same wavelength, or not, you know. But I think most are. I think most of us are really sick of the dark Kabbalion bullshit that's been perpetuated on us worldwide. We're sick of this shit as a whole, as a people. Everybody I have can talk to out here or dug encounters on a daily basis, we all feel the same way. What does that tell you? Wow. So the whole world is whacked because we don't want to fight each other? Or is a certain entity whacked because it wants you to? Yeah, sure is. I don't want to hear their love of God out of their flapping little faces anymore. I'm sick of this shit. Making excuses for shit, and you honor yourself in front of people you should have pity for. You're a fucking sicko. Really, I didn't realize that I could hold a certain amount of admiration for a person for their faith and then hold such disdain for their ignorance at the same time, you know? Really. I just can't handle it. I had to turn it off. It was only like about a 6-minute video. I got in like about halfway. Let me check this. I was like, I just can't hear this, you know? Okay, so you got your hero to read your book. Wow. This is freaking appalling. The book BB Netton is reading revealed shocking. What? Because it was a republication that he handed out. That is appalling. It's all sickening. 5 books of Moses that you can't abide by, and you're going to teach that to me? Huh? I'm not saying that's the only literature these people have ever read. Far freaking from it. They know what they're doing. I just know that the ones that want to stay in the flesh so bad and play the darkest games, they may not even be, they're sick. They don't even realize the darkness of the game that they're a part of. They are not, they're perpetuating more centuries of sorrows and God long suffering because they're not like, wake the fuck up, you know? God, where is this people's head? You know, they're not using their heart. They do when it suits them, but to preach that everybody's connected and they believe that God is in everything and uh, whatever. Is life in everything? Is life in death? Might be if you believe in an afterlife, but there's some of these entities that know they're not going to have any flesh and they don't care about your afterlife because they chose their path. They wanted to be king of the dumpster. If you don't help pick these people out of the dumpster, nobody else is going to do it, and it's going to keep on keeping on for centuries unless large groups of people, and I know we do, start actually speaking out about it because the more we speak about it, the less they're going to be stupid because even if they're stupid inside, they're not going to be able to display it because it will be unacceptable, which it is. I wasn't quite sure which topic I was going to focus on today, but that was like, yeah, whatever. That's why I people don't see, or maybe you're getting to see the satanicness of it all. Um, even within, oh God, here goes. Even within the name Jesus, you should be saying Christ, the Christ Spirit, or not Jesus Christ, or Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Knock it off. Talk to God. from the spirit within your heart, and that is the Christ spirit. The name Jesus, you're patronizing Satan. And you can say whatever you want with your limited language. I don't care. I really don't care. That's why I won't use it. And if I have, might have been a rarity to express something else, but I've made it perfectly clear. I call God the Almighty, and the Christ Spirit is the combination of the male and the female that can come together and portray that for people on this planet, the same as Satan and the dark force, because it is a force. It's a barter system. You have to do in order to receive. I don't. You see the difference? I don't have to do something. I don't have to twirl around on one foot with my hands above my head saying hocus pocus in order to get the things I need in my life. All I do is think it and it's there. That's the difference, you know. And yeah, you get those gifts too, but it's not free. That's all I'm saying. That's where faith in God gives you a true freedom that most people don't recognize, and there is not a rabbi on this planet that has that freedom within his soul. Not with their teachings. Mm-mm, not even close. And priests, oh, please, let me light some incense here and bless you with frankincense, which is poisonous, by the way, in the Catholic Church. That's why there's no windows open during those services. Think about it. It's like a freaking dungeon in there. I was confirmed through a Lutheran church which is another form of Judaism hidden within Zionism, like all the rest of them, you know. Yeah. You see, I had a wet spot on my shirt. It's gone now. Hair's a good thing. Yeah. I have some coconut leave-in conditioner to make it softer today, so for tonight when I wash it. I wash it every day, but yeah. Some days it's like this is getting a little long, but yeah, it makes me use my arms like in back of my. I do keep limber. I did my exercise again this morning, and if I ever do miss a day, there's some days like last week I did take a 2-day rest because you don't really benefit yourself if you keep pushing yourself. But if you come back and push yourself a little harder after that, you can up your endurance, your strength training. So if you strength train, yeah. Or for quickness or agility or, you know. So anyway, how are you at touching your toes? Can you put your palms on the floor? I think it's a good thing to stay limber the older you get. And you can build muscle in older age. Now for Doug, he's been working hard every day doing wood and different things around here, but he's been cutting wood and but he fasted for like 3 days, and I could see like what happened to me. And if you lose that weight too quick, you'll suffer for it. It'll come back, try to come back in with vengeance because your fat cells, um, it's like a collective memory with that cell, and it'll go and store itself in a deeper tissue to try and hide from the abuse you're afflicting on it. It's actually trying to save itself for later because your body's scared and it feels like it's starving. So if you don't know that while you're doing it, it can be super dangerous. So you just really gotta, and then you can build anything along with what you're doing with that loss, or whether you're trying to detox yourself. And anytime you fast, you're going to hear the Spirit of God better. You will. I fast every day till at night, and sometimes I do bigger fasts. But yeah, I don't need to eat all the time. You know, you expel so much energy, and you can feel yourself getting hungry before you're hungry, but you're going to get hungrier all the time the more you eat. If you eat the same amount every day, once a day, you'll never gain a pound. If you injure yourself, you got to keep exercising different parts of your body, whatever that is, to keep going, and then incorporate your injured spot later when you feel like you can do that, you know. I have some nerve damage areas that I tried to really pound on working out, and I wasn't ready for it, and I re-injured myself. So it's like, yeah, you got to be careful, with full body training if you do that type of thing. So I don't know, just going off in different directions today. That's, a lot on my mind. you know, I'm going to have Richie pick my brain tomorrow. So it's just that I'm not one that's going to come up and tell you my sources. That's just the number one. He knows too when he first met me. Just don't question me. Well, depending on how the questions are put towards me, I don't mind answering anybody with my thoughts from your thoughts that you gave to me. I don't have a problem with a conversation like that. It's just like, sources, please tick it somewhere. Go find your own. If you don't believe what I'm saying, then you'll find out later from somebody else you're going to have to pay for the same thing I'm telling you. So just go have fun with yourself out there, you know. So that's how I feel about it. I don't have a lot of subs. Someday I might. And I started it. Actually, I'd started videos on Facebook, and then the Robin's Hood channel wanted to see who he was talking to. He wanted to see people and asked if we'd make videos. And I just became accustomed to talking to people every day. And it's like, well, there, because you can only type so much in a comment section that you can't really say. I mean, in like even a few minutes' time, you can say an awful lot on a video that you can't type out. So I thought, yeah, this is a good way to communicate like that for everybody. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And then like FaceTime type of things, those are, you know, rare for me, and I'm super selective, but yeah, I've done it 3, 4 times, something like that. Mm, I think 4. Once on Robin's, once on Richie's, once on um, Show Me Sasquatch, and no, maybe this will be the 4th one. No, somewhere else too. I was, but I can't remember. Or maybe I'll remember it. Maybe I wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. I just don't know anything. How about that? I was telling Doug today, we all have to just get over this fact that God is way ahead of us. He's always going to be ahead of us. We're always going to have to learn. Always. It's a never ending learning curve. You're always going to have to learn, and you're going to have to learn to deal with that fact also. That's a hard one. Just get used to it. One way or another, you're going to learn. Might as well make it fun. You better try and enjoy it, or you're going to live in eternity suffering from what I call lazy learning, stupidity, stupefied. You know, if you actually enjoy the newness of something and see the gift in that, that's a pretty big deal. It's like oh, his channel is Narc Daily. Andrew. He's like when you learn something, read a book, teach a book, or teach, or the way I can't say it just like he does, but when you learn something, basically pass it on. Just don't sit still with that, unless you don't think you're capable of maybe not changing what you heard, but um, letting the Spirit of God give you a voice when you think you don't have one, you know. I think there are some people that are realizing that they are not fallen angels, however, or demonic, which only means messenger either way. But unless you are the Nephilim, or if you consider yourself Arconian, then yeah, you're not fallen. You were cast. There's a big difference. You could have been not cast out. You could have just walked down here freely, or should I say up, to help people, you know? And then a lot of times in between, when you first get here, and by the time you get a little bit older, if sex, drugs, and rock and roll didn't get in the way, and every other thing that they use to beat us down, if you survive all that, you might be able to gather why you are actually here. It isn't to destruct, it's to deconstruct what was put into place, to actually change time, you know? The hope is to be able to nullify the essence of time and um, the feeling of imprisonment for the people that didn't do it right and need some guidance coming out of their stupidity is the basic thing. So no, not all of us are fallen angels if you feel like you've lived before, but don't try and fool me when I know um, who came against God and who didn't, you know. That's never going to fly. You're not going to be able to carry on today into tomorrow with that thought. So just a word to the wise there. And yeah, for the big guy that said he would have like smoked a cigarette and or took something and then took somebody out in the backyard and took them out. My philosophy as a martial artist is the littlest person can take me out, especially if it's a sneak attack. And I have battled huge monsters, very large monsters that didn't get their way because God takes care of me like that. I'm not somebody that's going to stand there now. I have been hurt, sneak attacked. Yeah. But if it's just straight up something, you'd see something you wouldn't expect. That's all I'm saying. And I do not do threats um, easily, especially if there's intent in the message. So now, if you can honestly say you're tender-hearted and you would never start something first, then you're walking beside me, or else you're not. Either way, you can't appreciate the fact that I could also save your life. uh, We're not walking hand in hand. That's a fact. So just back down with your big shit, 'cause it doesn't work here. That's what I'm telling you. Do you work on your speed training too? I know. I know. I'm a woman that needs to be put in her place. I understand all that shit. But I'm not your average woman. I never was allowed to be, so fucking excuse me. So anyway, yeah, some people are here because they don't have a none of us have a choice, but some of us made a choice for good or bad. So yeah. And if somebody's telling me that they're Apollyon, oh, I believe you're a part of that entity. I have no doubt. Don't brag about it. When we're all learning, even Apollyon, you know, you're not God. So, and just it's just like the Father and I are one. Well, my kids are one with me too, but I don't like my kids. What then? You know, you better think about the language. And yeah, we're all a part of God, just like my kids are a part of me. I love them. They're just not a nice enough human being for me to want to be around. Same with like my ex. A lot of people, well, that's you know, ooh, you just have no clue. The so-called demonic forces that have come against me, and not just one person at a time, you know. And yeah, I was I would say probably more like it doesn't matter who I know or who I don't know. I heard somebody saying how they'd travel around and get jobs and was able to see a lot of things, and I did the same thing in my youth too. And sometimes I recognize people. It's like I think I seen you before, because I would have been running in the same circles, and I still would have been me no matter where I was, and there's no mistaking that. So whether it was like around bikers or whatever, they knew I wasn't like them. They always knew. It's not, I can honestly say I never fell from my walk with God, and I made it apparent. You didn't have to guess, and I didn't have to guess about myself either. That's the difference between somebody that actually would do things lacking moral judgment and integrity that I didn't, you know. Now, like I say, before I became a mom, and especially in between 15 and 17, I was not, um, I wasn't stable at all. I had so much anger inside of me from everything that I had been through, but I grew up quick after that. So when you take your own parents to court, to get away from them. I started running away at 5. I finally made it at 12. I made it out of the state at 15. So I'm not just saying um, like I'm actually not strong. I'm actually telling you I am very strong. So that's what I'm telling you, whether you believe that or not. So don't threaten. That's not cool. Yeah, I've been upset at somebody passing on disinformation, and that gets me getting riled. And my words to somebody was they should just have their head slapped off. And I think I said effing die or whatever. And yeah, maybe die to themselves, die to your stupidity. What's inside my heart isn't the pain and the anger that came out when I was that angry. So, and I don't always get like that, but some days, whatever. I don't usually go around telling people to drop dead, but, and I'm not talking drop dead gorgeous. I'm just saying, some people need to, I mean, we're all going to drop dead anyway. So, language is just what it is, isn't it? You know, some people need to drop their bullshit. Be careful not to tell an untruth before the human lie detector gets on here and looks you in your eyes. Think about it. Be careful. I mean, I'll protect people even through their silliness, but just have a little respect. Because I don't get angry for no reason. So if I start flipping on you, you fucking deserve it. And I be the same in person. I have never changed myself. I had to battle when I was 12, and I haven't stopped. And I keep myself in shape, so that'll never happen to me again. What happened before I was 12. So, man, yeah, 15 was a pretty bad year. I put up with shit I never should have, and I came to a point in my life where that's not happening again. And I had to show somebody, yeah, I'm trained like this. How do you like that broken bone? There you go. That's what you get in with a master. And yes, big man can do that to a smaller woman more readily on this planet. And yeah, women can be nasty little creatures too, can't they? But so there's that spirit within people that will strike another human being, and there's a spirit that will not. So I mean, you better learn to defend yourself if you are in or have been around situations that where people are actually going to try to take your life, you know. So anyway, cheers. I think that's about all I have to say today. Anyway, back to my topic. The title of this video is if your army is an Israelite one and you live in the USA, go home, ET. ET, phone home, because this is my country. We have our own army here. Now, here's a quick thing. Who would you patronize if the United States went up against Israel? There you go. Who's your fucking army? Who is your mama now? Yeah, whatever. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.